Legendary credit card Alpha Bank is free forever. Get even more profitable super cashback every month and rent for free cash at any ATMs throughout the country. Not only benefits from Alpha Profitable. Hello, this is a top 5 channel. The last 2 videos about the most unusual farms in the world have received millions of views, and therefore you deserve a continuation today. We will be with you for the 3rd time. Marvel at how unusual for farming creatures manage to grow. Industrial farmers. Let's go to Mexican lands. Very strange farms where they grow. There are a lot of certain types of cacti that's just funny for farmers. I really don't care about these cacti. They are only a bargaining chip for extraction of a more valuable product. The point is that these cacti are parasitized by a type of insect, and precisely for the sake of preying on it parasite. All these cacti are grown. It's the same as if we grew potatoes for the sake of catching the Colorado potato beetle. These white balls are not for the sake of the potatoes themselves bugs, and you probably ate them before. Though these bugs had no idea about it, are a type of cochineal. Female cochineal sucks and is used sucks the juice with its proboscis, and never she doesn't move. Right here she is fertilizes and lays eggs, and behold, it is the females of these insects that farmers and are needed. The fact is that almost a quarter of them weight is made up of red matter, but this not blood, it's a natural compound called carminic acid. It is needed these insects for protection from predators such as ants. And this acid also gives powerful bright red dye, and precisely for the sake of obtaining this dye, everything is being started. It is widely used in production of a mass of products ranging from strawberry yogurt finishing lips, lipstick. Indigenous peoples Latin America traded this dye on over thousands of years. The matter has taken such a serious turnover that in this century, it was the 2nd most valuable item Mexico's exports after silver. This dye can be found on the walls. Archaeological excavations on priceless famous in paintings and on clothes of kings. The ruler took tribute from the Montezuma stacks from the cities he conquered in the form of 2,000 decorated blankets and 40 bags. Mexican cochineal. However, recently the mining business began to decline due to the appearance of synthetic dyes and pressure from activists protection of animal rights. This forced some Mexican farms completely abandon production, and therefore today cultivation of cochineal parasites is gradually disappearing. What many believe a very annoying phenomenon, since these insects gave the most powerful red dye from existing now. For example, this Farmines carmona in last time growing parasites on their land, but other farmers promise fight to the end. Is hard to give up ancient family tradition, although this is very tedious job to get 140,000 kilograms of paint required bugs, and this kilogram costs approximately, farmers think it's $150, too little considering everything. Production costs at a good price should be from $500 today. Consumers' interest in this paint because, unlike synthetic dyes, it is natural, and many believe that it is safer for health, and only for that reason business. Cochineal reproduction is still not over, and in Peru it even flourishes like this. How is the climate there? For this even more suitable than in Mexico, and therefore in this, it is more profitable for the country to do this. By the way, cochineal dye is also used for making fake blood for filming movies. Next, turtle farms are underway. Yes, there are such, and only in one. There are literally thousands of them in Asia. Perhaps you don't know, but turtles are one of favorite dishes in a number of Asian countries. But they eat them not only there on turtle on farms. It all starts with collecting eggs from sand. Eggs are laid out on trays, and shells are placed in incubators, quite durable, so they are not scary. So it falls out and becomes covered with a layer of sand mixed with rice husks, thanks to what increases the heat inside the eggs for them better development. Then boxes with eggs carried and placed on shelves, and under these shelves are filled with water. After 50 to 60 days, when turtles hatch, they immediately run out of the boxes and fall into the water. The next step is collecting these turtles. Farmers, these babies are only 3 to 5 in size cm. After collecting them, sorting begins. Some turtles are sold to farmers for breedings. The rest are sent to one from swimming pools, and then as they grow older every few months, They are moved to other pools or larger in size 2 months after the birth of the turtle reach 8 to 10 centimeters in length. These are not marine turtles, and they are not members of the Red Book at the moment. They are being fed in mostly minced fish mixed with boiled grain, and fed from 2 to 4 times a day depending on age. And when do turtles grow up? Enough. They are fed with fry through approximately 8 to 10 months. They are completely grown now. Their mass is about 1 kilogram. Survive to this time from 90 to almost 100% of turtles in the wild. It would be units of percent if Chinese farmers will have the best luck produce turtle meat annually, hundreds of thousands of tons according to the study. Already by 2008 in China alone registered turtle farms, there were more than 1,500, and no one knows how long registered annually in China. Turtle meat sells for approximately $1 billion. It is believed that eating brings good luck. During preparing turtle meat for sale, cut off the shell, cut it itself into small pieces, and delivered to restaurants. And they say they sell soup from them. Turns out to be especially good at different farms prefer different types of turtles. Today turtle farms can be found even in the USA and in European countries. These farms are mainly raise freshwater turtles. Only 3 serious attempts were made. Attempts to breed sea turtles, but just one of these farms in Cayman Islands continue to work. Grown animals are sold not only for use as gourmet food, but also for traditional ingredients, medicine, or as home animals. Are often close to turtles' farms adjacent to the farm of others reptiles, namely iguana lizards. Abundantly they are bred in Mexico and other parts Central America, where iguanas are considered a delicacy among some locals' restaurants. Almost the entire menu consists of some parts of iguanas. Some of the farms here contain a really huge the number of these reptiles. For example, on this farm is currently inhabited more than 27,000 individuals. So far iguanas, little ones, keep them under protection wire that prevents predators get inside and eat animals. Was case when a domestic cat broke into one from the enclosures and killed 120 young iguanas just for fun. After 7 months after the birth of iguanas, it is already possible release into open spaces where over the next 2 years they will grow to sizes suitable for harvesting. Their meat tastes like chicken because local residents once called them chickens on trees. In addition to meat for food, the local population also eats eggs. Iguana's skin is used for production of various crafts. In connection with iguanas have long been an object of this. They were hunted by those who did not. Laziness is why some species have been promoted or were on the verge of extinction, because farms like these save wild iguanas from extermination. Since hunters no longer have the need to hunt them, it is calculated that iguanas can provide as much protein as units of area how many in large cattle, and the price for it is more than for fish, poultry, pork, or beef. Latinos believe that the meat of these lizards treats or helps with various diseases because they willingly pay for this product is much more than that similar amount of other meat. Iguanas in America, unlike others, representatives of the family immediately stood out for their promise for animal husbandry. Due to its herbivory, they grow well on farms and reproduce so profusely that in principle the population can grow in geometric progression. Mature females can produce 30 or more eggs per year for 10 years, and they are growing faster here than their wild counterparts, in contrast to their fellow wildlife, who for the first time year of life suffer from 100% mortality from birds, snakes, and other predators. Iguanas bred in captivity demonstrate almost 100% survival rate, and then some of them are released into the wild for restoration of depleted habitats. Iguana farms also make good money on tourism, attracting 100 people per day. Some farms don't even sell iguanas for meat, and all the profit. Tourists benefit only from tourism. They let you feed the animals. The main thing here is not put your fingers on the iguanas. Feed cabbage, salad, melons, watermelons, carrots, and so on. Like farm animal, lizards have their advantages, can be kept in captivity at fairly high density without occurrence diseases due to its herbivorous diet, harmless character, and high reproductive potential of this reptile is the best type for intensive content, vigilant, curious, and calm. They are easily tamed. Births are moved to the United States. there are extremely strange farms here with a very unusual type of goat that are called fainting goats, and their title they fully deserve it. At the slightest fright these animals freeze, like stones, and they fall. That is, they look goats are like goats, but you should at least have them scare a little. And this scene happens like from some comedy cartoon. This goat is now trying run away but she can't. She's already numb from fear to happiness. During these animals do not have attacks of torpor, experience no pain, and remain in fully conscious. That is, they do not fall into fainting for real and already after a few seconds can be free again. Such goats would never move survived in the wild. Natural selection, they would be eliminated instantly. Inability to escape from predators yet never added years to life. However, thanks to the protection of people, these goats are quite numerous. It is noteworthy that they are so freezes not only from fear, but also from joy. For example, when they see a lot grains that they adore, or for example when they see a female during mating season, that is, the slightest emotional the experience triggers the numbing process. Please note adults and experienced goats, when they are scared again, immediately spread their legs wide to don't fall from numbness. They will fall only if you push them a little. Myotonic goats, their scientific name. They are known for rare hereditary genetic diseases called myotonia. Fainting goats, original American breed known from the end 19th century. They first appeared in 1880 in Tennessee. These animals were bred artificially. Breeders, the fact is that this breeds have a higher ratio of meat to bones than others due to genetic deviations. They exhibit hypertrophy muscles that give them an athletic appearance. As a consequence of the goats, myotonic, on average 40% of Eupida extraordinaris breed meat is quite soft and has special taste. This breed also gives good milk, but for many decades worth of swooning braids was not at all meat and milk. Several generations of sheep farmers used them in a very cynical way. Instead of protecting the herd, they led dogs into every flock, fainting scattered in different directions, and the unfortunate goat fell into a stupor due to one unfortunate one. The rest most often remained alive. Today, they fainted goats are raised not only for their meat, but also without this they sell well because people. It's funny how these animals fall because for the sake of this fun, there are many of them. Buy them as pets, easy to care for. They are not problematic animals. Currently counted about 10,000 individuals are swooning braids, and if farmers stop breeding them, then these cute creatures are just going to die out. Well, it's a shame we're returning to Asia anyway. There are no farms here. One of the most unusual ones, frog farm. Yes, someone I thought of raising frogs in food purposes for meat. Very large farm with millions of individuals. Frog meat has been one of the favorite dishes in Asia. Is also used in folk medicine. The meat is called field chicken, but supposedly tastes better than real chicken. Many say it's something in between chicken and fish. In Asia, there is quite many Ren's frog farms, especially in Vietnam, Thailand, and Cambodia. They play an important role in the economy. The breeding process is quite simple. At first, a healthy pair of frogs is selected for breeding for females and males. Sometimes an aphrodisiac is administered to speed up the process. Mating, their marriage room has water and some vegetation as well. Sprinkler that simulates rain, because its mating season for frogs happens along with the rainy season. A few days after mating, female lays several eggs at a time, hundreds to thousands of eggs, followed by frogs carry away, and the eggs are collected and then transferred to another pool. After 2 weeks, the tadpoles hatch and start to grow. They are fed 5 times a day. Each pool contains fishmeal. Thousands of tadpoles. Over time, they begin to lose their tails, and their bodies changes shape to look like frog, and at this moment, you need choose which ones to grow indoors pools, and which ones in open. Farmers' young frogs are often separated. By this is done in different pools in order to control the growth of frogs, provide them with optimal growth conditions for each individual period of life, also to monitor their condition health and prevent overpopulation. These frogs are a month old, already quite large. Their pool should keep it clean. It is often cleaned to prevent algae accumulation or bacteria. This significantly reduces coli number of frog diseases compared to outdoor pools. Preparation for harvesting takes place in the outdoor pool, which consists of several sections. There are plenty of netted frogs. Feed them so that they gain as much as possible more weight before harvesting. Their feed contain fish meal, soybean meal, grain, vitamins, minerals, and other supplements. The rainy season has begun over Frog Village and began with it. To begin the harvest, the frogs are knocked down, a bunch of them, pinning them in a corner. For this farmers, they just quietly tighten the grid, leaving frogs have less and less space in water. As a result, they literally begin stand on each other's heads. Afterwards, farmers climb into this pile and begin collect frogs in large mesh. These bags fill up very quickly thanks to this approach, as reducing the density of frogs in the water. The pool mesh is starting to tighten again, thus the rate of collection of frogs in packages do not sag. Further, over time, weighed and sent to the factory, each package contains approximately 100 frogs with a total weight of 15 to 20 kilograms. Market price is about $2 per kilogram. After processing at the factory and removing all unnecessary parts, price is already rising to $4 to $5 per kilogram. Processed, the frog meat involved is huge number of people because the products are very many. Animals are skinned and cut off. Their paws are washed and soaked in cold water tank to remove any remaining blood. After washing, frog meat is transferred to the line freezing, and then they are packaged for sending to many stores and restaurants. Frogs are sold alive at local spontaneous markets. Other than Asian countries, frogs are still raised in France, and America's frog meat is in high demand because it contains many nutrients. Substances is a source of good protein, and when cooked correctly, quite beneficial for our health. In China, some people even consider this meat supposedly healing, especially for the lungs, due to why there is a high rate among smokers' demand for it, and therefore similar there will be frog farms prosper. Legendary credit card Alpha Bank is free forever. Get even more profitable super cashback every month and free withdraw cash from any ATM. The whole country not only benefits from Alpha profitable. Next, we have rat farms and other rodents. Given the widespread adapts a group of mammals in the world which is not picky. If farms hadn't appeared with their breeding, these animals are good, reproduce quickly, grow quickly, learn, and adapt to the most diverse local conditions. Rodents are a common food item in many countries and are considered valuable in some places. They are one of the main sources meat. Yes, this may cause shock for many, but don't rush into horror, at least for the first time. Look, idea washing rats and mice can seem radical, but rodents suitable for human food do not live in dirt. Like ordinary rats, there is no dirt they contain. When clean, they are healthy, for the most part vegetarian diet. Like rabbits, eating grass and grain. Some types of rats, they also grow to such sizes as rabbits taste their meat better than their chickens. But for example, a farm in the USA mainly breeds rodents for their subsequent feeding of the snakes. Everything. Rat boxes are cleaned every 7 days. Cleanliness helps animals stay healthy. Racks here are thought out by rats cannot get from one box to another with shavings along which rodents walk around too. Chosen wisely here, a mixture of different types of wood is used with cedar shavings, what repels insects such as female mites. On this the farm lives for about a year, and the males live for about. They don't feed two rats cheap dog food here, feed as many others do. Farms used here are more expensive. Food is all for snakes to eat healthy rats without harmful substances inside, so that there weren't many such farms in America, because a lot of people are kept at home snakes as pets, and feed them. Something must be grown on such farms, not only rats, but also mice. But you can't. Mice are raised at the same time as rats, otherwise mice will smell the nervous and poorly breed many mice before shipping to customers. First frozen in the freezer. Farm eats a whole truck in 2 weeks feed, and it produces approximately 50,000 mice per week. Every 12 seconds here a new mouse is born. Mice are used for small species of snakes. Healthy rats are already destined for pythons. Of course, only mice and rats. Rodent farms are not limited to, are also actively bred many other representatives of this order of mammals such as squirrels. They were once a popular delicacy even in America. But for example, a farm guinea pigs are animals of which there are many of us are kept in the house as pets. Meanwhile, other people eat them. Farmers around the world are trying through breeders to bring out the most large breeds of guinea pigs. These beasts began to appear more and more often on the menu in the United States, and in restaurants in South America in general. In many parts of South America, eating them is ancient by tradition. Tribes in the Andes domesticated them for the sake of meat 7,000 years ago, because were then available in South America only llamas and deer. In prehistoric, there were few peoples of and available. They took wild sea sources of meat, pigs, and discovered that these pasture the zoons were controllable and easy to grow. By the time the Spaniards arrived, guinea pig meat was one of the staple food from Argentina to the Caribbean. Today, only Peru alone eats more than 65 million annually guinea pigs per year. To breed them very easy. They do not require large investments because they are unpretentious and mostly eat just grass and some vegetables and fruits, and females already a month after birth ready for fertilization, and each of them can give birth to children 6 times a year, up to 4 cubs at a time, and again get pregnant mother maybe next the day after giving birth. All this makes pigs are a much more profitable source food and income than many traditional farm animals. Meat guinea pig has a high protein content and low content fat and cholesterol, and according to the description, it looks like whole animals are prepared for rabbit meat, mostly grilled and sometimes deep fried. They are not only delicious, but also defenders, useful for nature. Environment believe that consumption pig meat is beneficial environment, since rodents are low carbon meat alternative. Beef for growing cattle. Livestock have to cut down forests and grow food in this area. Animals what not to do. For guinea pigs' point of view, dietary benefits of seafood. Mumps is an alternative source of poultry protein and is more healthy alternative to red meat, although there are in culture prejudice against eating cute animals. However, this is not for us prevented me from eating rabbits. Next we have a farm on the list, pigeons. Surprisingly, someone thought of it, and to breed these city birds for the sake of the extraction of their meat from pigeons was consumed in food back in ancient Egypt, ancient Rome, and in medieval Europe, where for keeping these birds was created individual dovecot buildings by right were considered living storerooms, where they were stored source of meat for unexpected guests. However, the pigeon meat was rather a delicacy rather than a staple food. Preserved recipes preparations are more suitable for rich holiday meal than for poor man's supper. Modern production based on the fleshy breeds of these birds. Chicks are raised until approximately 1 month of age. When they reach the size of an adult bird, they are slaughtered before they take off. The young pigeons grow quickly. Their meat is thin structure and attractive taste, gentle and easy digestibility, and therefore useful for disabled people and people with disorders. Digestion. Pigeons are hardy birds, the cultivation of which does not require special effort. They are traditionally bred into dovecot houses, protecting birds from bad weather and predators. Such a system allows birds to fly freely and requires virtually no intervention. The person on the other side of the pigeons can usually breed indoors in fenced yards, where all of them needs are provided by a farmer. In the USA, for example, there are pigeon farms where up to 35,000 pairs of breeding birds are kept. Many large breeds of pigeons were bred specifically for production meat. They have a larger breast than not poultry breeders, reason which pigeons on farms are slaughtered for meat already a month after their birth is that at this time ratio of pulp to inedible parts the highest. But if you let it, live pigeons take a little longer, when their plumage will develop so much that they can fly, then their meat will become tougher. No one likes it because in most of these farms, few pigeons live for more than 30 days. Well, those farms where they still live longer, they are grown for slightly different purposes, namely for scientific research, or for sale as pets, or for racing. Also, dovecots are a good source of manure for gardeners. Commercial breeding pigeons started in North America with early 1900s. In 1986, annual production in USA and Canada reached 1.5 million individuals in the year. Of pigeons, unlike the other poultry for breeding, must form pairs. Chicks are raised and are fed until 4 weeks of age, aged by both parents. Pair of pigeons capable of producing 15 children per year. 10 pairs of pigeons can produce 8 chicks every month, and you don't even need them feed.